Hi boys and girls, my name is Laura, Miss Laura. I am the Director of Family Ministry and Christian Education at Gaithersburg. So we are doing our Engage Moments. If the chickens will be quiet, we'll be doing our Engage Moments outside today. And it's rather warm outside, but I hope you all got to go outside for a while. It's beautiful sunshine, and sunshine always makes me happy. So today's book, as I said, we will be reading from the Mr. Men books. Now I grew up with these books, and this particular book was mine when I was little. You can see it's a little bit battered, but it still has the same story and I still love it. So I'm so glad I get to share these with you. So let's go ahead and jump into our story. I'm looking forward to it. This is Mr. Cheerful. Just don't look at all the scraggly bits on the cover. We've got all of these, see these? I have all of these books, and there's Little Miss as well. They only started those a few years ago, but I've collected as many as I can. So next time we'll do a Little Miss. Make sure everybody gets a turn. So let's go ahead and get started. Look at him, sleepyhead. Mr. Cheerful always woke up in a cheerful mood with a bright, sunny smile on his face. In fact, Mr. Cheerful was one of the most cheerful people you are ever likely to meet. He did, however, have one secret that made him sad, but nobody knew about it. Not yet, anyway. All I can tell you is that he liked to keep it under his hat. Mr. Cheerful was never without a smile, from breakfast time until the morning, to his bath time at night. Mr. Cheerful beamed from ear to ear. He was even happy when it rained. And on a sunny day, his smile was even brighter and sunnier than the sun. Everybody around him couldn't help but feel cheerful. Even the flowers smiled when Mr. Cheerful walked past. Isn't that funny? When Mr. Funny met him, he felt so happy that he pulled an even funnier face than usual, making Mr. Cheerful laugh out loud. Then one day, while out for a walk, Mr. Cheerful bumped into Little Miss Splendid. Mr. Cheerful smiled his usual cheerful smile. Little Miss Splendid began to smile, but then she stopped and looked sternly at Mr. Cheerful. "How rude!" she exclaimed. "Young man, don't you know that you should raise your hat when you meet a lady?" Uh-oh, sounds like he's in trouble. For the first time in his life, Mr. Cheerful lost his smile. Then he blushed bright red, but he still did not raise his hat. What do you think the secret might be? "You should be ashamed of yourself," cried Little Miss Splendid. "Why won't you raise your hat?" "I'm too embarrassed," replied Mr. Cheerful, blushing an even brighter red. "Without my hat on, I'm not very good looking, and that makes me sad." "Really?" asked Little Miss Splendid. "Let me see." Uh-oh, what's going to happen? Mr. Cheerful lifted his hat. And now I'll tell you what his secret was. Are you ready, boys and girls? Mr. Cheerful had the grand total of only 3 many hairs on his head. Is that all you're worried about? Asked little Miss Splendid. Why, it's your bright, sunny smile that everybody loves, not how many hairs you have on your head. And little Miss Splendid smiled. Then Mr. Cheerful smiled. And ever since that day, he has not stopped smiling. And he is always quick to raise his hat to everyone he meets. And everyone he meets goes away feeling happy and cheerful, which leaves only one thing to say. What's it going to be? What do you think it's going to be, boys and girls? Hats off to Mr. Cheerful. Wasn't that a good book? I enjoy it. I enjoy all the Mr. Men books. They make me smile and they make me laugh. So I hope you enjoyed that one, boys and girls. Now, which one should we do next time? Maybe you should have a vote. If you can, if you're watching this and you have access to a computer, message me on our Engaged Children's Ministry Facebook page and let me know which of these Mr. Men you would like to read next. Oh, actually I said I'd read a Little Miss next, I'm sorry. But after that, you could, because I haven't got the Little Miss with me to vote on, but you can vote on the next Mr. Man book that we read together. So here they are, right here. It's a bit too much to read them off to you, but you can have a look and see. As I said, this book is very old. It's from when I was little. You can see here it was bought in England and it was £1.25p. Right, those are all the Mr. Men, and this is the one I told you here, Mr. Happy. If you see here behind me here, you can't really see because my chair's in the way, but that is the animal area. We call it Happy Land Farm, where all of our animals live. You see chickens running around and all sorts, and we have a rabbit area. And we call it Happy Land Farm because I love Mr. Happy so much, and that's what we named our little farm after. All right, boys and girls, that is the end of our book time for Engage Cozy Moments. Now, I don't think I need to do Animal of the Day because you've seen so many walking behind me throughout. Right behind me right now are the ducklings. You can see how big they're getting. They're all walking in a row right there, you see? Right there. Those were babies just a week ago. Anyway, boys and girls, before we leave, there's something very important I wanted to talk to you about. Tomorrow, we are talking about a very important subject. Now, I'm expecting a lot of people to be watching with us tomorrow because we're going to be speaking about some subjects that I would like to really kind of get deeper on tomorrow, but the kind of titles of what we're talking about tomorrow are racism, that's a big word that you might not have heard before, intolerance, and justice. Now those are very big words, but I'd like you to tune in tomorrow because that is what we are going to be talking about. And what we are talking about tomorrow is also going to be the children's moments during church service on Sunday. So you get to have a bit of a preview tomorrow, and it's a very important subject. There's lots of things going on around us right now, boys and girls. There's lots of people who have many different opinions on what's going on. And tomorrow I'm not going to give you really my opinion, but I'm just going to tell you as things are and just the way I think. Well, I say I think, that's my opinion, but just the way the world needs to be right now as God would like it. So I'm really speaking on the perspective of how the church looks at what's happening now, and what would Jesus do if he was here right now and seeing everything that's happening, all the riots and just all the bad things that people are doing and saying and things that have happened. So tune in tomorrow, and I'm going to delve deeper into that in a way that you children will be able to understand and go away with the knowledge, and go away with, maybe yesterday we talked about starting a movement, a happy movement. Remember with the rocks, we talked about that yesterday, writing happy messages on rocks, or God loves you, and that could start a movement, because that's already started with those rocks in some schools. But you know, that's something we talked about yesterday, a movement. Now many people are taking a stand on what is happening right now, and you children, boys and girls, are so important in our present time and our future. And you know, maybe it's time for you to start a movement. So check in tomorrow, and we will be talking then. Okay, I love each and every one of you, every single one of you watching, boys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, and everything in between. I love each and every one of you. Tune in tomorrow, and I will get on at 5 o'clock, not late like I was today. I will be getting on at 5 o'clock, and I look forward to that time that we get to spend together. Okay, boys and girls, cheers and good night.